It is pushed.
The button is pushed and we're live. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome to our Thursday night live stream. Q&A, Patreon, member questions, and everybody else questions in the chat. We've got a bunch of stuff going on tonight that we will tell you about here in just a minute. As always, these are ad-free. So if you want to support the channel, you can use the super chat to ask a question, although you don't have to. You can put a bunch of question marks in front of it, and we'll try to get to it. We do have a bunch of Patreon questions that came in today, so it's probably going to... there's a lot of them. So that's cool. And you can go to DylanTalksTone.com, and you can buy pickups and swag, cool hat like this. All kind of stuff. I should tell you also that there is going to be... People have been asking me for flamed nickel P90s. They are coming, but nickel P90 covers are on back order right now, and so we are waiting. I have chrome, but you can't flame chrome, so you have to have nickel ones. So, so that's a thing. And that's actually going to lead us into what we're going to talk about tonight as far as the terrific prices of everything. The other thing, super chat.
Super chat from Dastardly Dave. Thanks for the super chat, Dave. He said, I do like the ad free.
Thank you.
Super chat from Tazzy Tim. Thank you for the super chat, Tim. He says, ad free for us.
Thank you so much. So we'll talk about that in a minute. I will tell you tomorrow, you are going to not want to miss the video that's coming out at 4 p.m. If you are a member on Patreon, you will see this video ad-free tonight at 10 p.m., but I did not want to do it before the live stream because I did not want anybody to accidentally spoil it because it is awesome. I hope that I get like 100,000 views on it. It's so fun. And it actually is going to spawn some more fun. In fact, I just got an idea that I'll talk to you about afterward because I don't want to spoil it, for what to do with said thing that is in said video.
Okay.
At least to start with. That I think will be very fun. And then the last thing before we get into the Patreon questions is I want to thank Tazzy Tim from Tasmania for sending me another sampler of single malt whiskey. We got 3 different flavors here. I'm about to pop one of these right now, and we're going to try it. And I'm not going to drink it all. We're just going to try a little bit of each tonight. And so we'll work that in to the evening. I have to say, 11 years, however long it's been doing YouTube, nobody sends me free guitars. And I don't know that I even care. This is so cool. This and coffee is where it's at, man. And I have to say that I really appreciate this. The reason I appreciate this is when people send me guitars and gear, that's a business thing, you know, and I can just buy that stuff if I want and sell it when I'm done or whatever. But this is like people getting to know us, and this is like community. And I care about this more than free guitars, I have to tell you. So thank you so much for this. This is the third or something in the last couple weeks that we've gotten from folks, and man, thank you. I was thinking about that today. Like, it's cooler than free gear. It really is, because it means more. So
we've also gotten like knives and pens.
We've got knives and fountain pens and
sharpeners.
We got some sharpening stuff. I got a gun cleaning mat somebody sent me.
A long time ago, we got Jeep hooks. What were those things? Hinges?
Oh, somebody sent us hood hooks for the Jeep, like billet ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, like stuff that's like meaningful to like, I think you're gonna like this. Not like, here, can you review this? And
they're
I'll
like
pay
paying
you.
attention, and it's actually a gift. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It's super cool, man. And I really appreciate it. And I just want to say that. So, okay. We have a bunch of Patreon questions. Let's get into these. You can continue to also ask other questions that we'll get to by putting a bunch of question marks in front of them. But while you do that, I am going to do this.
Super chat from Tazzy Tim. Thanks for the super chat, Tim. He said, just showing our appreciation from all of us.
Okay, this is the same thing I had last time. So we're going to leave that one.
Try a new one.
Yeah. Lightly smoked, with Central Highlands peat.
Super chat from Kyle Ketchamonia. Thank you for the super chat, Kyle. He said, big bummer. I have to return my 12-string Ricky. The neck is bowed, but it's on warranty, but still a bummer.
Chinoto citrus cask. Finished in cask, hand seasoned with vibrant Chinoto citrus. Okay, we're going to try this first because I really freaking love peaty stuff. And so that one right there, I want to save that one for last. So we're going to try this. All right.
I'm going.
We're working our way through super chats. Are we done or are we good?
I got through super chats.
All right. So
Back
let's
to
do some Patreon questions.
Garner. Hello, guys. What are the tonal differences between round pole pieces and staple pole pieces, especially in P90s?
To tell you the honest truth, Garner, I do not know. I have not had, they're so rare. So like a 55, 56 Les Paul, you can get those. I have played one time. And I have no experience at all with them. Definitely not enough to do a side-by-side with a regular P90. So to be honest with you, I don't know.
Joe, good evening. I'm looking forward to the custom Enduro I've ordered for my project. Couple questions. Are 500K volume tone appropriate for the Enduro and Filtertron combination?
Yes.
The current setup is humbuckers with push-pull coil split. Since that won't be relevant anymore, what would be a good use for the unused push-pull pot? Series parallel, switchable tone cap values, remove volume tone from the circuit, something else wild.
Series, with that setup, I would do both of the pickups in series, both of the pickups in parallel in the middle position. That's what I would do. That'd be cool.
All right, you seemingly had thoughts on smell.
Yeah, it smells good. It's very, I think this is going to be pretty mild, and I'm kind of excited about it. So yeah, here we go. Yeah, smell it.
It smells good.
She likes how it smells. She doesn't like how it tastes usually when it comes to whiskey style stuff. It's definitely citrusy.
Oh, is that the one you tried? You didn't say that.
Yeah. Definitely citrusy. It has a very citrusy nose on it. All right. Next.
David, regarding the Stealth Tele pickup, I've seen neodymium magnets show up recently, both in the context of pickups and speakers. It appears to be a stronger magnet material. What are the virtues and drawbacks of this magnet? Do you intend to make other pickups out of it? How would it compare to Alnico 8? How would you describe its tone frequency response?
It's much more brittle. It's way, way harsher. It's way, way stronger by per mass. So if you have a cylinder of a particular size and it's the same size as Alnico, it's going to be way, way stronger. Yeah, it's a completely different animal. I'm not super experienced with it. That's the only pickup I've ever made with it. And I got it to sound good, but it took some figuring. But I will say that I probably won't make other stuff out of it. Because it doesn't, in my opinion, it doesn't really work well with guitar stuff. Because it's too strong. Bass stuff, that's different. I have a friend who uses neodyms for lots of bass stuff. So that's where I would go with it, but I wouldn't use it personally for guitar stuff that much. Can we work, you can take that down. Can we work our topic into, I want to talk about this real quick. So
Before you move on.
Go ahead.
The last question, Vox Guitars Rock wanted to share his thought. He said, and there's the reason I love this channel. When Dylan isn't sure about something, he tells you he doesn't know instead of trying to blow smoke and fake knowing. Respect.
Did you know? Remind me. Wait, I'll write it down.
First of all, I'm sure he meant thank you.
Yes, thank you. Yes.
Did you know?
Blow smoke up your ass. Did you know?
Why did you write it down?
The etymology of that, we're going to talk about it in the off-topic hour because I just learned it the other day. It's very interesting. Go ahead.
Super chat from Joey Dano Guitars. Thanks for the super chat. Doug, he said, thanks for the help today. I got it wired.
Oh, awesome, man. He was wiring up a guitar that he bought pickups from me for. Thank you for the super chat too, Doug. I appreciate it. So let's chat real quick about the thumbnail. It says that these prices are terrific. I don't know if you guys have looked lately, but guitar prices and parts prices are way, way up. And I wasn't really going to talk about it that much. I saw Rhett Scholl's video on it today. And he's like, I wasn't going to talk about it that much because nobody wants to talk about politics. So this is not about politics. If you get in the comments and talk about a bunch of politics or say you hate a political party or whatever, you're getting friggin' deleted and banned. Okay. That's not why we're here. However, the real stuff is that prices are up. It's crazy. What made me look at it today was checking on these nickel pickup covers. And I go to realize that nickel pickup covers are twice what they were 2 months ago. I didn't even realize it I just click boxes and order stuff. And I'm like, holy crap, these things are expensive. And then base plates for humbuckers. I will tell you that the cost of making a humbucker has gone up 100%. Like, it's ridiculous. And so, and we've not raised prices in 4 or 5 years, but we did have to raise prices on a couple things. So like gold pickup covers and stuff like that are way exponentially more. And I reran all of my numbers today. And this is just kind of, I just want to tell y'all, being transparent, I reran kind of all of my numbers, parts costs for various pickups and this and this and this. And I am basically out of room for not raising prices. I don't have to right now. But if stuff goes up anymore, I'm going to have to. So if you want something, you might ought to grab it, especially anything with metal. So humbuckers, anything with gold plated stuff, gold pickups, gold covers. I think the wiring kits and all that stuff was okay. Pots went up, but we're still okay on pots. It's mostly the metal. So like anything nickel, like the base plates and all that stuff, it's just ridiculous, man. Twice what it cost 6 months ago. So, and of course, I know this is not actually having anything to do with what's going on in the political scene in the last 2 weeks. This has been going on for quite a while. So, but because things are the way they are, things are moving around a bunch. And so I just want to be honest with you and be like, look, if you see something and you go there and you're like, oh, that's not the price it used to be. I have really held out for as long as I could against raising prices, because I don't want to do that to you. Because all of this stuff that's going on in the economy right now, I think what a lot of people don't realize, they might get into some kind of negative conversations on the interwebs and stuff, and I don't want to be a part of that. Like, that's not what I want to talk about. But what does affect us as a small business, and one of the things that Rhett talked about in his video was most of your favorite brands that you deal with are one person, 3 people, 5 people. But that pickup that you buy, that pick guard that you buy, that loaded pick guard, that whatever you buy from us, I mean, that literally feeds our family. So, that's me and her and Brianna and it supports our son and daughter-in-law and our grandbaby. We have a grandbaby. So, we'll just use that little, so yeah, it goes downhill, right? So, and not just me, as you're thinking about your purchases for the next few months and you're having to be strategic about it, try to support people that where that money's going. Not just me. I'm not just talking about me. If you're going to buy a custom guitar, if you're going to buy, instead of something off the shelf, if you're going to buy a pedal, instead of buying a, Boss or something, buy something from, somebody who's, where that money's going and you're helping feed a family. I think it's really important. That's what we do, even in our other hobbies, like, even in our other stuff that's not guitar stuff, we try to do that. So pocket knives and all the other things, So anyway, it's not, and I really appreciate everybody's support. But at the same time, next time you go to the website, if there is, I'm really going to try to hold off for as long as possible. But it's something that I wanted to talk about and just be upfront with, so that people are not surprised and they know what they're looking at. And it's not going to be huge price increases. It's just a few bucks here and there on specific products where the stuff has gone up. Nickel P90 covers are one. We used to not charge extra for nickel P90 covers. We're going to have to charge $10 extra for nickel P90 covers now. That's an example, right? So you could still get black ones for the same price, but you got to pay extra for the nickel ones. And all that custom stuff that we're doing with the laser and all that, we're going to try to figure out how to still make that economical, but be able to cover the extra costs of that stuff. So yeah, super cool stuff. It's not cool actually, but it's good to talk about it and just be real with everybody. So anyway, we can get back to and if anybody has any thoughts on that or ideas, feel free to put it in the comments. I'm not saying it's something that I will be able to implement, but, and also please keep it civil and not political. We're just really talking about effects. I'm not educated enough, or I don't have enough. I cannot speak on the causes. All I know is the effects that I'm personally seeing. So.
If you want to hear some things related to
man, that is good.
Things you talked about.
Yes.
Let's see. Bob Belden said, "Tell me about it. I just went to the grocery store and the food prices are jacked by 30%. Just about pooped myself."
Yeah, I get it.
Matthew Altamir said, "I don't think it would be crazy for you to add surcharge for a pickup cover as an add-on charge." Vox Guitars Rock said, "Raise prices if you need to, Dylan. Everyone is feeling it from increases. No one should be in business just to break even." Vinny's World said, "Unfortunately, as much as it's bad for me as a consumer, it really wouldn't be sustainable for you to not raise prices."
Yeah.
All right. Well, that was thoughts on.
Well, thanks for understanding, everybody.
Immediate thoughts.
You know me, I've been trying to put this off for a really long time, and I still am. But the numbers that I'm at right now, I'm like, if anything goes up anymore, I'm going to have to do something about it. So I just wanted to, again, Vox Guitars Rock mentioned earlier the transparency, and we try to be like that. So
yeah. Matthew Altamir, his point is true. One of the companies I used Oversee as controller was a low voltage cabling U.S. manufacturer. Depending on the price of copper, we'd change our pricing very often to the distributors. And you experience that too, like variations in prices.
What I would pay, an amount of copper that I would pay for, well, I'll just tell you, a 5-pound roll over the last 6 months of 42 gauge wire, which is our main winding wire, has gone up 20%.
Daniel Zamora said the transparency is greatly appreciated and it seems reasonable on metal covers and custom stuff to cost more. Big G Customs said, are you considering less expensive materials to keep profit margins steady?
No.
Yeah, I think you've
No.
fine-tuned that. I don't think you'd go back to testing even.
No. Our stuff is good. We make a premium product.
A lot of parts now too.
So excellent point.
Yeah.
So we have not, one of the ways we've avoided raising prices is investing in the company. So the last year we've put thousands of dollars into the laser shop so that we could make our own flat work, so that we could make a lot of parts and maintain quality, but do it at a cheaper price. So, for example, one of the things you could do that supports where we are in the economy right now is buy Stratton Telly stuff, because I've figured out how to way to make my own parts to maintain a good margin without being cheap about it. They are the top shelf parts. It's the same stuff Fender uses, but I figured out how to make it myself. So that's a way of doing what you said, but we are not going to cheap out on parts. I'm not going to cut costs that much because we make a premium product and we will continue to make a premium product, period. That's what I do. I'll go out of business and figure out something else to do before I do that.
Super chat from Tazzy Tim. Thanks for the super chat. Tim, he said, based on what you just said, I ordered a set of gold center punches. We'll sort the laser engraving later.
Oh, excellent. Oh, because he wants a picture of his dogs on it.
So part of Daniel's comment was the metal horns. I was supposed to do that apparently when I read his comment. I am not going to start doing emojis that are in the comments. Just saying. Awesome. Chris can keep his accents, but I'm not doing it, and I'm not doing emoji acting.
Excellent. All right, next Patreon question.
Shane. Good morning, Leslie and Dylan. Dylan said this week that he supports Gibson and Fender because he prefers to play the original real thing. Mm-hmm. Like Coca-Cola.
Yes.
However, considering how often they have moved factories and changed ownership, wouldn't it be more accurate to say the real thing is Heritage and G&L? If Dylan wants the real thing, perhaps he should support brands that have their original owners like PRS, ESP, and Gretsch. Except
that Fender, the ashtray bridge on my 2023 Telecaster is made on the same machine that made them in 1951. They have the same stuff. And the people in the custom shop, you know, I mean, I know people that work at Fender that have been there for 50 years. I personally know them. I know people who at Fender who designed some of the original machines and actually evolved them to what they are now. I was actually talking to him at a guitar show in California a few weeks ago, or a couple months ago. As far as Gibson is concerned, it's the same thing. they have moved along and evolved. I was actually talking to one of their pickup engineers when I was in Nashville, and he was telling me, Jared, he was telling me, he was like, man, he's like, you can make your own pickups. He's like, I love working at Gibson.
Well,
I was like, really? And he said, yes. He said, the company now is so awesome. He said, it is an amazing place to work. He said, I can go in there. I can design a product for a guitar coming out, a pickup coming out. He was telling me some of the stuff they were working on and some of the stuff he's had a hand in over the last couple of years. And he's just like, it is such a great place to work. And so when I hear that stuff, I'm just like, yeah, it is the same place. Yeah, okay, so different people own it and whatever, and financially it's gone through some things, but the heritage of that company is still largely there. I would own a GNL because of Leo Fender's story there. I'm just not interested in those guitars. That's the only reason I don't own them, is because I just am not interested in the guitar. I do own PRSs, and I only own American PRSs because I love the PRS story. So I do own PRSs. The other brands like ESP, I'm not interested in the instruments. If I wanted something like that, I definitely would. I definitely would buy from them. I think it's cool. I think the stories are neat. Personally, I don't know the stories about ESP as much. I know a couple people who've worked with them and have done some stuff with them, have told me some stories. And like the guy that owns ESP started MMI, and because that's where Brian worked. And so I know some things, but I'm not as connected to those brands, I guess. So I have, for the purposes of that conversation that day, I have no connection to those brands. That's why I don't buy them. And I'm just, if I do get some connection to them at some point and it does move me, then I will. But at this point, I just don't. So it's not an on purpose thing. It's just, you can't know everything about everything as much as I want to try. And as I do, then I will expand my horizons for sure. And I'm not saying I wouldn't expand my horizons into other brands as I continue to learn about them. I do that with all kinds of stuff. So I think that's cool. So I understand your question, but I just don't know that it's relevant to me in the way that you might think it is. Good question, though.
And I actually, before the rest of that question, when I see that you said you support Gibson and Fender because you prefer to play the original real thing, full stop there. Like, I read that to mean like, because you're not going to buy something as a replica of,
No.
Because if you wanted to save money, there are ways to save money, but
yeah,
it's
exactly
not what you want.
No, it's not what I want. I don't mind buying the Evolution. I mean, I have a PRS Silver Sky, which is basically a Strat. So an ESP, ES 1000 or whatever that Les Paul thing is, might be kind of cool. I'm just not interested in that guitar. So it's not that I think it's a ripoff or anything. I'm just not interested in it.
Rob, hello, Leslie and Dylan. A simple thank you, as I can't think of a good question for tonight. I mean,
Well,
you can
thanks,
ask bad
Rob.
questions too. Those would be fun. Zoltan. Hey, Leslie and Dylan. Building on last week's live and last Tuesday's podcast, where's the longest you've spent going from this looks so cool to here it is in my hands? For me, it was 5 years of silent watching and digging, then 2 weeks of intense email exchanges with the custom builder, and then 6 months to get it delivered. In the meantime, I more than doubled my budget and no regrets, because cool stuff's cool and giving it the time it takes is worth it.
Right off the top of my head, I would have to say it would be my PRS Fiore. Because, well, did I have the PRS Fiore before I had that Les Paul? So we went to Sweetwater years ago. We were in the motorhome still. And I played the PRS Fiore for the first time and had to have it. And then that was the same day that you said you should buy the November Rain, the November Burst Les Paul. And I really couldn't justify either of them at that time. And you're like, don't buy the PRS Fiore because there's not going to be any video about it because you're not going to mod it or anything. And I'm like, yeah, that's true. So I sort of put it off. And then maybe a year later, I ordered it and it took almost a year to get it. So that guitar was a long time in the making. My Machine Gun Kelly guitar was that took over almost a year and a half to get that guitar. And then if you go on the same time frame of the Les Paul, I think I got it a year after I got the Fiore. So this one might be the longest. In the like, one of these days I'm going to get one of those. Unless you actually count the one of these days I'm going to get one of those would probably be my D28.
I was going to say your Martin. Yeah.
Because I've wanted one since I was 10 years old.
Right. What about non-guitar? Does anything come to mind for non-guitar? This feels zero applicable to me because I have zero patience.
Yeah, I mean, usually I just buy stuff. I mean, you've wanted a Weimaraner since decades.
Yeah.
And now we have one.
Yeah, that is true because I was told by many people that I didn't want one, even though I did.
The entire motorhome thing, the entire we're going to sell everything and travel around the world took us 8 or 9 years to put together.
Yeah.
You know? So, yeah, we do. But physical possessions, I mean, I think it took me a year to get I think it's in my pocket right now. I think it took me a year to get this knife, my Spartan Harsey Folder Special Edition, because this was on order for a long time. But I'd already paid for it. So it's not like I was...
So then it's like you got a present.
It's not like I was jonesing for something and had to talk myself into it or, do I really want it? And, that kind of thing. I mean, my 1911 was kind of like that. I researched that company for probably a year and had to get up the guts to spend the money for it. So my Nighthawk was probably like that. But I would say it's a cross between the Fiore guitar stuff. It's the cross between... honestly, it's a cross between the D28 and the Custom Shop Gibson. Because those are my two favorite guitars ever of all time. And those are what I've wanted ever since I was, But the Martin for sure. Mm-hmm. The Martin was a lifelong goal to have that. And now I have it. And I haven't played it in like 3 months. Okay, the citrusy one is really good. And I would have never picked
it. Is that like like you like citrusy beer?
No, it's not like a...
It's different?
Yeah. It leans more honeyish.
Combo was what you liked.
It's really good. I'm not... Luscious orange with custard and merengue.
Merengue? That's a dance. Do you mean meringue?
Meringue, yes.
How did you get that in the bottle?
If I drink the rest of this, it's coming back out. I'll tell you that right now.
Oh my gosh. Wow.
Sorry, buddy.
Super chat from Kyle Catchamonia. Thanks for the super chat, Kyle. He said, I'm pissed with Long in McQuaid.
Long in McQuaid, yeah.
You buy a $3,500 guitar and they don't set it up before shipping. Now I got to travel all the way to L&M. It's a 5-hour trip. They were like, I saw it high. Oh, dang. So they knew and still sent it to you?
Oh, yeah. That's weird. I mean, sometimes the setup isn't included in the purchase price, but if they knew about it and didn't do anything about it, that's wild.
Yeah, but I would think like over a certain amount, that's like a level of service, not an add-on.
Yeah, I mean, it is always an add-on, but I think sometimes the better shops will do that stuff for you, though.
Yeah.
Because it's a cost.
Yeah.
You know.
True. They're not doing anything else with standing around.
To pay somebody to set up a guitar, I mean, it's, you know. They could be standing on the sidewalk smoking.
They could be.
All right, what's next?
That was all the
besides this Tasmanian peated.
That was all the
it's gonna be bomb.
Free off topic.
All right. Well, what other questions do we have over there and stuff going on in the comment section?
All right.
Because that did take 35 minutes to get through all that. We got OnlyFans Weimaraner over here.
I know. David Richards, have you tried Birdsong Coffee?
I have not.
I don't know what that is. Daniel Zamora said, you didn't tell me about the coffee, by the way, but I'm glad you enjoy that sort of thing.
Oh, yeah. No, it was good. I'm in a place where I'll get with you about it.
Magic Man said, I don't really want to be gifted gear either. I don't want to be obligated to like any particular piece of gear.
Oh, I don't feel obligated at all. In fact, if this whiskey sucked, I'd tell you. No. And when it comes to gear, if I don't like something, 99% of the time, you won't even hear about it on the channel. And if a company sends me something and says, what did you think of this? I'll send them an email and be like, this thing sucks. Now, if I purchase something with my own money and put my money on the line and it sucks, then I will tell you about it. But if a company says, here's something for free, or we want to, well, I don't take money for reviews, but, you know, I've had people, my favorite kind of financial, again, transparency, my favorite kind of financial arrangement is when I do a review for free, they give me the gear as payment for it, okay, which we disclose, and then I have some sort of affiliate link to promote afterwards, and then I get a percentage of the sales of it afterwards. That's my favorite kind. And that works really well. And that also incentivizes us, if it's good and I want to talk about it more. And, you know, we sell more and we make more money. But I've had that happen lots of times. And people be like, is it good? And I'm like, I don't even want to do it. This thing sucks. And I just won't even make the video. I won't even tell anybody. And we actually turned down, I would say, probably 24 requests a month for gear.
Oh, there's way more.
Oh, there's probably way more.
I delete daily.
Do you really?
Daily.
We want to send you this microphone.
Yeah, we love your channel.
Yeah,
let me send you this.
Yeah.
I delete them. I don't even
me either.
Pretend to let you look at them anymore.
Yeah.
I just delete
There's
them.
just so many of it. And it's all, you know, it's an Amazon microphone. It's an Amazon microphone stand. It's a, you know, who knows what, ball shaver.
And
like
most of them are very inauthentic. Like they will flat out say in their email, like, we want to send you this in exchange for a 5-star review. No.
No.
Not how that works.
No, absolutely not.
And I also think they cannot do that.
It's why I don't do many reviews, because people don't like doing it the way I like to do it. So
honestly.
Yeah, exactly. I'm really looking forward to this.
Okay. Super chat from Kyle Ketchamonia. Thanks for the super chat, Kyle. He said, I love my local guitar shop. It's small, but good.
That's cool, man.
And
if you have one of those, that's great.
Super chat from Vinny's World. Thank you for the super chat, Vinny. He said, absolutely to throw shade, LOL. My buddies that worked at L&M were literally standing around and I went to hang out and smoke with them back when I was still a smoker.
That's awesome.
Too funny.
Okay. This is my favorite. I like this a lot. This junk is smooth right here.
Doc Silton said ball shaver money could be a game changer. Richie B said, I could use a ball shaver.
Well, if you need me to get an affiliate link for one, I will sort that junk out.
Oh, my word.
I will sort your junk out. I mean, I have one, and it is good. Like, that Manscaped stuff is good.
Yeah.
And all their other, like, products and stuff are good. I bought them off of probably somebody else's affiliate link, and I think this stuff's great. And they did ask me, but I said no because it doesn't really relate to the channel. So,
yeah, because all those same ones that everybody does, like the
AG1,
yeah,
them, the Sasquatch soap people. Although that's freaking cool because it's Sasquatch. I might do that, but yeah, a lot of that stuff I'm just not into.
Hans Moselle said TMI, man.
Hey, it works good.
Let's see. Back to the top.
Yeah, this is it.
Yumi Maru.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I'm saying that right. My dream guitar is an American Ultra 2 Strat. It's a great guitar, but why does a $2,250 guitar not come with reverse log post when it's a lefty? I'm going to make a custom wiring harness.
Oh, that's a good question. I do not know the answer to that. Log pots. So do they just put, let me know if you need help with that. We can do that. We have all the stuff for that. We can make you a drop-in thing. Or I can just send you that. I think we have left-handed pots that you can buy. Yeah, that is weird.
Jim Cunningham says, which video do you address the actual math of your pickups?
The actual math? I don't understand the question. I mean, the financial math of it, I'm never going to tell you. The wine counts and all that stuff, I'm not going to tell you. So I don't know.
If you're talking about values and all that, I think those are everywhere. We always talk about stuff.
Yeah,
like
whatever, however many K it is and whatever. Yeah. And, you know, and we've shown in videos, you know, capacitance readings and stuff, although I don't anymore because that to me that's tradecraft. But, you know, the actual numbers outside of just normal resistance reading to me is tradecraft. So I don't share that. I don't share wines per layer. I don't share tension, wire tension. I don't share any of that stuff. Not even with my best friends. And when we do classes, we wine something that's not something that I make. So, yeah.
Ty Lee said, because of you, I now feel completely comfortable and competent setting up a Floyd Rose. Thank you.
Dude, that makes me feel good because that one was those can be intimidating for people.
Chicken Waller Farm, what is the best source for potentiometers? I'm sick of Amazon.
Me. Just hit me up. I'll get you what you want. We have CTS and I can get you Borns if you want. Yeah, we'll do that. And our prices are competitive on that stuff.
Wait, that long word is what pots are?
What?
Potentiometers?
Yeah.
I learned something today. I thought it was like a tool.
No. A potentiometer, all it is a variable resistor.
I thought he was asking for like a piece of equipment, like a, you know, like a strobe tuner type of like something like that measures something. Jim Cunningham had said, so who broke the grandfather clock? It came broke.
It came broke from grandmother's house.
Not to be confused with a grandmother clock. Actually, that is a grandmother
That
clock.
is a grandmother clock,
Just
actually.
kidding.
Yeah.
Bob Belden.
I think it actually works. I just don't know enough about it to, because when we moved it, we had to take all the weights off of it and stuff. So if there was somebody that I knew that like knew how to set it all up and do it all, I think it would work. It's just not.
I bet you could YouTube it.
I bet I could if I had.
I mean, it can't get worse.
Well, it probably could though. I don't want to ruin anything. I don't know. I'd like it to work. That'd be cool because it would make noise.
It would make noise. Yeah.
That'd be awesome.
You should do that.
Maybe I'll check it out.
I dare you. Does that work on you? It wouldn't work on me, but maybe it works on you.
If you dare me to hire somebody to fix it.
Wow. If you knew somebody to fix it, you'd already have done it though.
Yep.
Bob Belden. Oh, that reminds me. How many coils can you make out of a pound of copper wire? Average coil winds, nothing unusual.
So people ask me that all the time.
We're not going to tell you. We just said that.
Okay. Well, here, I'll tell you what.
Question was earlier though, so he didn't know.
Okay.
It's like,
Keep going.
how much wood could a woodchuck chuck?
Yeah, how much wood could a woodchuck chuck? So I can never remember the conversion. How many grams in a pound? 453. So I will give you stock fender numbers. How about that? 453 grams divided by somewhere around 22. You could more or less wind 20 Strat pickups with a pound of wire. More or less. But I don't get 20 pickups out of a pound of wire. A, because my numbers aren't the same. It could be more, it could be less. And B, I don't have a roll for Strat stuff, a roll for P90s, a roll for humbuckers, a roll for whatever. What I will tell you is we go through, we went through 15 pounds, 20 pounds last month. I think we went through 20 pounds last month. So of one wire. And then I think we went through 10 pounds of another wire. So that's in a month. But it could be a whole bunch of different stuff. But I mean, it's probably 200 pickups.
Jim Cunningham, can you cut stainless on your laser and make your own base plates?
No.
Richie B. Dylan, you mentioned neodymium. What?
Neodymium.
Say it again.
Neodymium.
It is an M. Neodymium mags can sound harsh or brittle. Tom Anderson makes some humbuckers with neomags that are loud. Any experience with these or thoughts? Thanks much.
They are loud. No. I just don't have enough. Every neodymium magnet or pickup that I've ever heard, I didn't like. And so it just kind of turned me off to the idea of using it. And so I never really went down the road of really trying to figure it out. And they're kind of expensive. When I say kind of, like a lot. So, I would say they're probably twice what an Alnico magnet costs.
Isn't Daniel a lawyer?
Yeah.
He said Dylan answering questions like it's on trial is so funny. People just trying to ask in different ways.
I mean, it's kind of...
That's so funny.
It's kind of what you do being on the internet. I try to be as honest and as straightforward as possible, but sometimes you're just like... I mean, I've answered the same question. That's the other thing. I've answered the same question 70 million times after doing this for 11 years.
It just made me laugh. I was like,
but
wait,
I will tell you a couple of questions tonight I've never heard before. The neodymium thing doesn't come up very often at all, and neither does the staple pickup thing. So yeah, you guys are coming up with some original stuff, or largely original.
Big G Customs. Have you ever built a prototype pickup using a different material as the winding wire? Results?
I have played around with okay. I played around with a bunch of different gauges. Anything from 44 down to maybe 38, which is really fat. 38 is what a Charlie Christian pickup used to have on it. I've also played around with obviously a lot of different bobbin materials. Shoot, I've made pickups out of manila folder before. As far as the winding wire, besides the gauge, I've played around a lot with insulation types. I was working with a company about 7 or 8 years ago who was trying some experimental. So the most common stuff that's on the outside of a wire, like the insulation on the outside of the coil wire, is polynylon. And it has a particular dielectric coefficient, meaning the capacitance of a coil can be affected by the coating that's on it. And so they were experimenting with different materials to get higher and lower dielectric coefficients out of a coil, which was really exciting for me because I really care about that. Not a lot of people talk about that, but it's something I personally really care about with my pickups. It's what makes them so good. And so we were playing around. They would send me different spools with different stuff on the out, like different insulation types. And then we would wind them identical and take a bunch of measurements and experiment and stuff. And they made some really good pickups. I was just thinking about this. One of my buddies in Columbia, South Carolina, he's got a couple of my pickups with those weird materials. There's just one of each of those. So, I have done some experimenting as far as copper versus silver versus any of that kind of stuff. Silver is so hard to work with and so expensive, that it's not worth it. But I haven't really done anything other than copper for the actual wire itself.
Super chat from Kyle Ketchamonia. Thank you for the super chat, Kyle. He said, I don't know if this is allowed, but it's a super chat. But if anyone wants to hear my DAF, check out my country song, Rhinestone Hat by Frank Loophole. Frank Loophole is my music name. It's on all the streaming platforms. Thanks.
Oh my gosh. That is amazing. I think that it should be a given that if you're hanging out in the chat and you actually make music, that you should be able to promote yourself with that stuff.
Especially if he has your pickups and he's on your channel.
Yeah, especially if it's my pickups. Well, only if it's my pickups. And especially if it's in a super chat.
Kidding.
I don't even care.
I'm teasing.
If you put yourself out on the internet, I think it's great. That's really cool, man.
Yes. All right. We have 6 minutes and 12 things reserved.
All right. Speed round.
Not all of them are questions. BC Rich 581 said, I have a bass that just arrived on Wednesday that took me almost 3 years to get.
Wow.
Daniel Zamora, I'm currently looking for a nice acoustic, but holy damn, they are expensive. About to get more expensive, but I'm still saving up. I have the money, but it would be irresponsible. And then he asked, have you ever tried a J45? I'm between that or a Martin D.
Man, those are two completely different animals. You better try them both. I'm a Martin guy.
Joey Dano Guitar says, I'm waiting to hear about the blowing smoke. That's coming. 5 more minutes.
That's coming.
Matthew Altamere, did you ever get that weird metal framed guitar?
No, I didn't. I should reach out to that guy.
Chicken Waller Farm, Yamaha Revstar P90. Opinions?
Put mine in there and you will never look back.
We have 3 thumbs down tonight. Feel like that's a high.
Probably because I didn't talk about the thumbnail soon enough.
Doc Silton, or they came late and they're like, why aren't you talking about it?
Yeah, true.
Doc Silton have to let me try that again. Doc Silton have to hit you up for left-handed pots. Do you have them in stock?
I have a few.
Then Vox Guitars Rock said, do lefty pots have to go to -1?
Good question.
Tazzy Tim, I'm going to use 500K splitting pots and orange drop caps on your center punches. Thoughts?
Yeah, that would work perfect.
Jim Cunningham, would a stronger magnet and less coil wraps make a warmer sound?
No, actually. Not really. More wines typically will flatten it out more and give you more low end. And usually, yeah, less wines is going to end up, it depends on the coil shape too. So if it's tall, skinny, short and fat, that also matters. So, yeah.
Robbie F said, I love my Celestian neodymium creamback speakers, a good bit lighter than their ceramic magnet cousins.
Yep.
Chicken Waller Farm. Dylan, have you ever hooked your pickups to an oscilloscope? And if so, could we see the results?
I have, but I do not.
It was a laughing face too. So
I do not currently have one.
I feel like there's videos of that though.
Yeah, you can find it. It's pretty easy.
Daniel Zamora said, by the way, on the coffee, I didn't also mean about the collab, but if you liked it and all that, we roast in-house, so feedback is always appreciated.
Oh, awesome.
And 3 minutes to go. We caught up.
Excellent.
Hans Moselle said, Tazzy Tim had a question. I think I asked his question. I don't know where it was. Wasn't Tim's the one about what we just talked about? 500K splitting pots. No. Okay. Got him. Get him in fast. I know there's a delay.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how much of a delay.
I don't either.
I should know because I was on a delay the other week.
I think it might depend on bandwidth too.
Oh, does it?
On the other end, yeah. All right.
2 minutes.
In 2 minutes, we're going to go off topic and we're going to talk about blowing smoke up your ass.
Wouldn't it be funny if like your whole live stream was a topic and you just talked and answered all the questions and then your subject was blowing smoke up your ass and you're like, just kidding. That's not what you're going to do, but I don't know. It's just funny.
I know. I've thought
just
about.
Kidding. All pickups are raised by like $50. I'm just kidding.
No.
Just kidding.
I've thought about doing like the main thing, an off-topic question. But I don't know. I have so much fun doing these on Thursdays, and the off-topic thing is always so much fun. Like this has been fun too, though. There's been good questions tonight. Everybody's had really good questions, and some stuff I didn't know.
Vox Guitars Rock said, I bought a Vox Standard Model 24 when I was 15. I've kept buying guitars since and still haven't found anything I like better, hence my username.
Interesting. I've always wondered about that because Vox guitars are very, that's a very niche brand.
What's a rhetorical question?
Let me ask you a rhetorical question. What's a rhetorical question?
9 o'clock.
All right. It is off-topic hour. So here's how this works. You can ask any question that you want as long as it is not guitar related. And we will probably answer it. If it is guitar related, it has to be in a super chat after 9 o'clock. If you don't like that, you can come back next week earlier and ask your question about guitar stuff then, because we just want to hang out with you, get to know you, be friends. That's what we do after 9:00 on Thursdays. Okay. So blowing smoke up your ass. So, in the late 1800s and early 1900s, later than you would think, actually, there were treatments. It was the same sort of concept that people would tell people to smoke to kill bacteria and stuff, to not get sick.
Okay.
So there was literally a treatment where they would have a tube and it was basically tobacco smoke and they would blow it up there. And it was a medical treatment.
Okay. So I'm going to assume that Doc Siltonen knew this because I was like, what is this comment? He said, I love looking at old medical treatment procedures. I even have a surgical instruction manual from the 1880s. Some pretty wild stuff. Thankfully, we've become a lot more scientific.
Yeah.
And then he also said, and the British fascination with enemas.
Yes, for sure. Yeah. Yep. I learned a whole bunch of stuff. I think we have a couple of off-topic questions in the Patreon too. You can ask questions in Patreon if you're a Patreon member that are even off topic also. So there's a couple of those.
Holy moly, they're just rolling in.
Excellent.
They want to talk tonight.
Excellent.
All right, Tim, off topic. I just bought myself a Microtech MSI Ramlock SE Stonewash Frag Black G10 to start my knife collection.
Sweet.
What do you recommend next? I am looking at Spartan Palace Button Lock Black DLC CPM Magna Cut.
Man, if you're going from Microtech MSI to a Spartan, you don't need suggestions from me. That's pretty dang cool. I have 3 Spartans. So this is a Spartan Harsey folder. Actually, this just happened to be in my other pocket. In Magna Cut, this is like a custom one. And then I have another one of these. But the one you're talking about is, here's the only thing. When you're looking at Spartan stuff, and I know you're in a different country, so it may not matter to you. But if you care about where the stuff is made, they do have a Taiwan line and they have an American line. So just look at that. If that matters to you. I have a Taiwan fixed blade from them, and then I have 2 American folders, but the price difference is way bigger. So just make sure of that. I personally, there's a bunch of brands that are all just like, they come out of 3 or 4 big manufacturers in China, and then they're all just like different brands, sort of like bass guitars and electric guitars from China. So I personally stay away from those. It has less to do with the China thing as much as it has to do with like, oh, that's just one of those. Like, it's not special to me, I guess. So I try to go with smaller. I mean, I have big brand stuff too, like bug outs and, Benchmade stuff and all that. But I really care about small businesses when it comes to the knife stuff and the pen stuff. I mean, I got Pilots and Sailor pens, but we have a lot of small maker stuff too.
And another question from Tim. I'm assuming it's the same Tim. Mm-hmm. How is your grandson?
How is he?
He is it tomorrow? No, it's today. He's 5 weeks old.
Mm-hmm. He's starting to smile more.
Not on purpose, though.
He's not smiling on command yet.
Well, not on command. Yeah, he's not reactionary. It's just like
it just happens sometimes.
Yes. Fun to capture, fun to see regardless. But no, he's doing good. He's figuring things out. Has some bad days. They're trying to figure out that's what she FaceTimed me for today. She was doing baby sling things so that maybe she can get some more things done now that she can get up and about better. But
overall, it's good.
Yeah, very good. He's good health.
Yep.
Eats good.
Cool.
is overall a good baby.
That's awesome. He's awesome. He's so cute. Even I think so.
Yeah. Just because he's your grandson, or
No.
he's actually cute?
He was ugly the first day.
No, he wasn't.
I thought so. I mean, all babies are just like little wrinkly pink things. Until they put them under the taquito lamp and then they...
Not all babies go under that. Shit, he didn't.
No, I know. No, he's awesome. He's awesome.
My goodness.
I actually haven't held him in a couple weeks.
All right. There's that.
Are the off-topic questions rolling in?
Yeah.
Excellent.
Chicken Waller Farm. Off topic. What is your favorite fiction genre to read?
I'm gonna go with like reading. I'm gonna go with I've read every Tom Clancy book. I've read like a lot of the classic-y stuff too, like, you know, Huck Finn and all that. Like I tried to read all that stuff, but if I'm right now, if I was to give you anything, it would be, I've read a lot of Isaac Asimov. All that Ender's Game stuff and all that. I've read a lot of that. Right now, I mean, I would read, I'm in the process of, I think he's got a new book coming out. It might be this month or next month. Jack Carr was one of my favorite modern, read a lot of Robert Ludlum. I used to read a lot, and I read less now, but there's a few things that I'll put on. I don't read anything anymore. It's all audiobooks because I'll sit there and work and listen to audiobooks. And I do read I listen to a lot of nonfiction stuff too. So there'll be like a lot of self-help's the wrong word. But like business building stuff. I've read a lot of business building books and a lot of like entrepreneurial stuff and stuff like that. But recreational fiction, Jack Carr is where I'm at right now. Does he have like a
Hang on.
red mark?
Super chat from Kyle Ketchamonia.
Like you got too close with him, Manscaped or something?
Thank you for the super chat, Kyle. I'm super happy. Got a new custodian job and live in a country. And I'm a country boy who loves punk and doom metal.
Oh, that's awesome, man. New change and it's always good.
Oh, it does look like Eve's cut.
Yeah.
Box Guitars Rock said, has Spock ever used the Force?
No. Wrong movie.
Daniel Zamora, besides violence, guns and knives, and pens, what are other hobbies you share together? Travel.
Travel.
Photography.
Yep. Travel photography. Travel and photography and travel photography.
Yes. Yeah, because I've actually done a lot of people photography lately.
You have. And mostly baby photography. Also, we learn a lot of the same stuff, I think. Speaking of like, if there's a podcast that we have an interest in, you're gonna, hey, did you see this? No, I didn't. Okay, I'll go listen to it. And then we
DNA story.
Yeah, and then we talk about it afterwards. The travel thing too, like, it's not often that I want to go to a place that you don't want to go to, and you don't want to go to a place that I want to go to. Like, usually we're both like very interested, you know, we are pretty common interest when, I mean, a car museum here and there that you're like, okay, I don't really care. But
They always end up randomly cool,
end up
though.
being really neat, though.
I mean, we've been some cool places that I thought were going to be real dumb.
Yeah.
And the one time you doubted my travel pick ended up being really amazing.
When was that?
You were like, why are we going to be in South Dakota for 2 weeks?
Oh, yes. I didn't want to go to South Dakota. It might be almost my favorite state ever.
Now.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Except for the whole tornado part, and hail. Hail was the problem.
That was Wyoming.
No, that was South Dakota.
Oh, because it hailed on Dan.
Because it hailed on Dan.
Yeah.
Dan from Guns and Guitars was in his motorhome like 50 miles from us.
No, not that far. You went and saw him.
Oh, maybe it was like 20 miles from us. He was like down in a different elevation than we were, and he got hail damage on his motorhome, and I didn't.
But the funny thing is, we were right on the edge of that ridge, and we were like, the views here are phenomenal. Like, we're on this ridge, but every day you could see like the weather come in and just do some weird
and it would stop like right there at that ridge.
Yeah.
And he was down there getting it all, and we were up there and we weren't getting it.
It was super wild.
Yeah.
It's cool to watch, but I was glad we didn't have to. We should have known too. Remember, that was the motorhome park we pulled into, and they had a hail damage place right there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like at the entrance, and we were like,
Yep.
There were hail damage places everywhere, actually.
Yep. They had like hail damage repair places where you would have a car wash.
Yeah.
Just like all over the place.
They were.
Yeah. Oil change place, hail damage place. And all of the dealerships had like
those covers.
Those tent covers over all their whole lot had like tent covers over all of the whole thing.
David Richards, I'm curious about how your family participates in your business. What does your son and daughter do to help Dylan Talks Tone? Also, does your local shipper know your family well?
So my UPS man knows us. My mailman is a nightmare. We ship most everything USPS, but I've got it down now, so it's pretty awesome. We just have a huge mailbox, and I just don't have to think about it that much. But the UPS man knows us pretty well. I can't remember what his name is. I think it's Scott, but I can't remember.
And anyway, the FedEx lady doesn't want to see us because she's scared of dogs.
Yes, the FedEx lady, and she's never really liked me because she's goofed up a bunch of stuff, and I've had to chase her down the street a million times. So we don't have I'm working on it because you're right. It's good to have a good relationship with your shipping people, and I don't quite have it with everybody yet, but we're working on it. As far as the family goes, both the kids know how to wind pickups. And for a long time, until Bryson and his wife were very pregnant, he worked for me quite a bit. He did a bunch of winding. Brianna did a bunch for quite a while. She's so busy with her own life now that she doesn't do it too much. But she helps me a lot on the laser side and a lot on the graphic side of things. So like, for example, we just had a request come in for a custom wood-burned guitar again. So she'll help me with that. Of course, Leslie does all kinds of stuff that you don't see. I mean, she does this every week, which is huge. For everybody, for all of you, for me, for the whole, I mean, it's awesome that she does this with me for probably 8 years now. You've been doing it.
Oh, I mean, back to the radio show. When was that?
The radio show.
Yeah.
Oh my God. The internet radio show that we did with Jack. That was
really early on.
Yeah. That was a long time ago. So yeah. So everybody's involved. You might not see it. Brianna and I were actually talking today about some things where she might help me out directly with some content that might be fun. So you might see her some more actually in videos and stuff, helping me with stuff. So So yeah, we're working on some things to get them more involved. And actually, I was talking to somebody else who had some ideas too. So yeah, you might see more of them.
AJ of the North. I know you're a motorcycle guy. Ever do much carb work on bikes? If so, should you be able to see through the low idle jet like you can on a high jet?
It depends on the jet size and how good your eyes are. Also depends on the carburetor. Yeah, I worked on tons of them. I worked on Kian 39s and Kian 37s mostly. Yeah, I guess I don't know exactly what you mean, but.
Big G Customs, do you own, collect, or wish you had swords?
I have 3. And I'm working on, I need to get a couple more.
That's one right there.
Yeah, so there's a Scottish Claymore right there. Actually, I need like 4 more. I'm working on an entire collection. I've got Katana over here. I've got a Tonto. I do not have a Wakizashi. So I'd like to get one of those. I'd like to get a British broadsword, like a hand and a half. I would also like to get a Canaanite scimitar. There's a bunch of things that through history. I'm sort of a history nut, and what I'd like to do with this room, I've talked about it before, but since you asked, I'm trying to do like a bit of a timeline going from early, like, Bible times almost, and then come down to around the corner to the modern day where we have, ARs on the wall and stuff from World War II and stuff from the Korean War and, over here. So yeah, I'd like to go all the way around the room and kind of have a history of various things from different places.
Super chat from Tazzy. Tim, thank you for the super chat, Tim. He said, I'm wearing my new Sustain Bros shirt, feeling like a groupie.
Nice. I love that. That is one thing I would love to take off. I love that shirt. And I love that hat. We have a hat too. And I think that says everything. I'm working on another design right now that I think y'all are going to like too.
Oh, so AJ asked that question. He said, I'm working on a Harley CV Cayenne carb. Cayenne carb. And I guess the low jet is plugged. Just thought you might have some input.
Yeah, it shouldn't be plugged because then it won't idle. And a CV is different because it's a vacuum. It's like probably round and it's a vacuum deal. And so, yeah, you definitely need to make sure it's not plugged.
Jim Cunningham, once while delivering trucks, I found a new knife in every truck I moved. I had a knife in every pocket, then lost them all one at a time over the next month.
That's funny. I've only ever lost one.
Yeah. Doc Siltonen said, all babies are smushed at first. Takes a while for them to not look like a sandwich left at the bottom of your backpack.
Pretty much. It's like when you buy a pillow and you first cut it out of the thing. You just got to let the...
That's why those last pillows I bought, I bought pillows thinking they were going to be used, but they came in a box. I mean, I bet it's like 5 by 5 by 10.
Mm-hmm. And it gets like this big.
And it's 2 pillows.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And I was like, I'm leaving these in the box because the box is easy just to store.
Yep.
So that's pillows. If you're ever looking for them, don't look like they should be pillows. Doc Silton said, ever read any Clive Cussler stuff?
Oh, yeah.
Total fluff, but still an easy read.
Yeah, it's funny. I'm not super into Clive Cussler. I was into when he was really popular and like you could get him at, everywhere. My dad would watch, he read every Clive Cussler thing ever. And I was more of a Robert Ludlum person.
Vox Guitars Rock said Nora Roberts.
Nora Roberts.
He's asking if you've read Nora Roberts.
No.
I've read Nora Roberts.
No. What about Sue Grafton?
I don't know who that is.
Sue Grafton is like the M for murder, N for...
Oh, no.
It was all letters.
Yeah. I like psychological thrillers. And I like unpredictable...
Choose your own adventure.
No, not choose your. I did love those when I was a kid, though. There's nothing like being able to read a book like 6 times, like, and have a different outcome.
You're like, you get like so far down, you're like, wait a minute, I already did this when you got to go back like 4 or 5 pages and pick something different.
Yeah, and then you realize like it puts you like, it's just branching, right? And you might end up with the same outcome.
Yep.
Yeah, that was a little disappointing. My mom owned a bookstore when I was a kid. Not owned, she managed a bookstore when I was a kid.
And my ex-wife managed a Barnes and Noble.
Reading. So my first exposure, books, I would read there, right? Like, because she was a single mom and I like lived on the bookstore floor. But so when they can't sell paperbacks, they have to rip the covers off.
We used to get tons of them.
All my books didn't have covers. So I never, you know, how some people are like really funny about their books and they're like, don't dog ear the pages, don't write in your books. And I'm like, whatever. Like all my books didn't even have covers when I was a kid.
Yep. She used to come home with boxes of, or, you know, that's like cool. She'd come home every couple of weeks with like a stack this big of soft covers with, or paperbacks with no covers on them. And you'd go through them and be like, this is dumb, this is dumb, this is dumb. And you'd, you know, throw them away, or recycle them. But
I love that. So Harlan Coben I love him. And I love that Netflix is doing a lot of his books, even in foreign language primary.
Yes.
They're really good.
I just saw
one. Yeah, there's a new one. I'm watching it now, but it's not. So they're foreign, like they're, I mean, some of them were American, but the ones lately have been, but it's dubbed English. Like you can still listen to it. You don't have to read the captions, but.
Yep.
Anyway, I don't know if that was related at all. Hans Moselle, have you ever read any B.S. Levy?
No.
Doc Silton, and what about W.E.B. Griffin?
Nope.
Box Guitars Rock said, Leslie is amazing. She deserves a raise or maybe a new 45.
Not a new 45, but you wouldn't like a 45.
No. I'm not even going to say what I would get if I got something fun, because then you would buy it.
Tell me.
I would get a 22 just for fun.
I want one.
Because it'd be cheap to shoot.
I know. I agree. I've been thinking about that. Just something fun. Yeah, exactly. Would you want a rifle or a pistol?
Pistol. I don't like rifles.
Yeah, I've actually been thinking about it, and they're cheap too. You know, you can get a 22. I was actually thinking about getting they actually have a SIG, a P. It's a 365, but it's not, and it's a 22.
They have a 22. I know they have a I guess.
Oh, they have a 320. That's a 22.
380.
Well, yours comes in a 380, but
right.
I wouldn't get that. That's yeah. You should get a 22. That'd be fun. Super cheap to shoot because you could get literally a bucket of ammo for like, and quiet. You get subsonic just for plinking. Be fun.
Stockdale's Guitar Explorer. The channel has come a long way and keeps getting better. Great job.
Thank you.
Has come a long way from those whiteboard days.
Yep. Speaking of that, I bought a PPK last weekend. So I finally got my James Bond gun. It was that I was torn between that and a John Wick gun because I really want to get an HKP 30L. So that's probably going to be my next one. Well, I take that back. My next one is probably going to be, well, besides the 22, it's probably going to be a Smith & Wesson Model 29. I really want the Dirty Harry 44 mag. I don't have any wheel guns, so.
Tazzy Tim said, don't mean to bring down the moment, but we lost one of our dogs on Monday night. Have you guys ever felt that loss before? Totally sucks.
Yes, I have. We actually went without a dog for 12 years, 11 years. And because I had a English Mastiff who got Addison's disease, basically pancreas shut down. So yeah, we went without a dog for a long time. And so this one is our first one in a very, very long time.
Because he tricked me.
Well, how did I trick you?
Because I didn't want a dog. And then you were like, oh, here's your dream dog. And I was like, yes, please, let's go.
Yep.
You knew that. You knew what you were doing.
I don't even know that I
now
told
he snores.
I don't even know that I told Brianna. Like, I just was like, I want this. And I shot
After
for
you
it,
almost got scammed.
and I went and found it. And yeah, I had somebody try to scam me on another Weimaraner.
I think that was a silver lab.
Oh, it was a silver lab. That's right. Because I was looking at a silver lab too, but I'm glad we got a Weimaraner. He is awesome.
And goofy.
He's so funny.
So that's the funny thing. I really thought like our dog is really goofy, like his personality. But then I joined like a Reddit group and I'm like, oh no, these dogs are just really funny and goofy. Like,
yeah.
And they all do the same thing. Like if you put them in a lineup, they all do the same thing.
Yeah.
It's wild.
Yeah. He has 2 pieces of furniture that he's allowed on. And he's so tall that he'll lay down on the furniture on the couch in her office. That's one of the ones he's allowed on. He'll lay down on it, but his back feet will still be on the floor and just go to sleep. Like hilarious. Like right now, he's like curled up in a ball, upside down, feet sticking up, but with his arm over his own eyes. So he's like blocking his eyes. He's hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
He's so funny.
Fox Guitars Rock says, I have a Pieta? What is that? Colt? Let's say a clone in 44 mag. The grip shape makes it the hardest kicking handgun I've ever shot. Not much fun. 44 SPL ammo. What's that mean? Here I come.
Yeah, it's like lighter.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, I know, but I just want it.
Lefty O said Weimaraners are goofballs.
He is
super smart, but
he's very smart.
Silly also.
Today I was I threw the ball. He went in another room to get it because I bounced it off a couple walls so that it would go down the hallway. And I hid behind a piece of furniture and I jumped out from behind it and I scared him. And then I threw the ball again and he went in the hallway and he brought it back and he came around and looked for me. Like he fooled me once, but that's it. Like he's really smart.
I mean, not always though, because he's still like, you can like look at him and try to challenge him and then duck behind the chair and he's like, where'd you go?
Yeah.
Like, dummy, you can still see my feet.
We have a 6-foot privacy fence goes all the way around our property. And if you shine the flashlight in the backyard, it puts a hard shadow on him. And he's so big that the shadow behind him is huge. So you can like wait till he's about like 10 or 15 feet from the fence and then turn the flashlight on and the shadow appears and he freaks out and runs across. So you can get him. Yeah. You can still get him.
We're probably cruel for laughing at that, but
it's really funny. It's really funny. You could scare him with his own shadow. It's pretty funny. And then he realizes it and then he's fine. But yeah, it's pretty funny.
Chicken Waller Farm said, oh my God, I went for over 2 years without a dog because my border collie was diagnosed with Addison's. Killed me. She went with me to every job site I worked on and put up with my human babies.
Yep.
Yeah, those are good dogs too.
Yeah.
I say good dogs. Like the smartest dogs are like, they always end up being really good dogs, but they're also hard-headed because they're really smart.
Yep.
Vox Guitars Rock said books, Death in the Long Grass and Johnny Cash's autobiography. And Doc Siltonen said, I just got the audiobook for Death in the Long Grass. Oh, Doc said something earlier. I don't think I read it. I mean, I read it, but I didn't read it out loud. You'd like the W.E.B. Griffin stuff. Lots of historical fiction, especially lots of World War II stuff. Check out the Core series.
I will.
Hans Moselle said, I have a few pistols, but my stainless Springfield Armory Garrison 1911 has to be the funnest one I have to practice with. The weight is perfect and is accurate AF.
So, my kind of prized possession is my Nighthawk 1911. And it's in rose gold, and it's, that thing's amazing. And Matt from Texas Toast just got his Springfield Garrison. He has a 5-inch Springfield Garrison. He just got his back from Nighthawk. He sent it to them and had them do all the fancy shaving and de-edging and all the cool stuff.
Nice.
And he says it's amazing. He's like, I should have just bought one for the amount of money it costs to have them do it.
Probably.
Yeah.
Fox Guitars Rock said they always had German Shepherds. They're really personable
when we were
and
kids.
smart, like having a 4 or 5-year-old kid around all the time.
Yep. We have some friends that have a huge one.
What does Brianna want?
She wants a Rottweiler.
She wants a Rottweiler.
I used to have a Rottweiler. He was awesome. Super smart. Really, really, really good dog.
I think we're aggravating him.
Yeah, he's like, it's too bright in
His
here.
heavy sighs, like,
Yeah.
stop talking. Yeah.
He does
Life
this
is
whole
so rough.
heavy sigh thing.
All right. 9:32. Comments are slowing down.
That's all right.
I just realized I didn't eat and we ate lunch really early.
Ooh.
And I'm really hungry, even though it's probably too late to eat.
Yeah. That's okay. Well, I appreciate it, everybody. Make sure you watch tomorrow, 4 p.m. This video is bomb.
Sorry. I'm going to. Ibji says, that's a good off-topic question. What's your prized possession?
Like run out of the house on fire. My 1911 and my Martin.
Tazzy Tim said handguns are illegal in Tasmania. No collection here. Joey Dano Guitar says, is he silver gray or the brown coat? Definitely
He's silver.
Martha said if I got a Weimaraner, she would say yes to it. That's
Pretty cool.
Yeah.
Dude, they're
I
great.
totally get it.
They're great. I got a guy.
Somebody said Vox Guitars Rock said put the puppy on camera. He is knocked out.
He's
he
knocked
is
out
technically on camera inappropriately right now.
Yeah, can you see him? Yeah, that's him right there. That is his chicken leg, his turkey leg, and his balls.
Nice. I think we should end on that.
Yep, turkey leg and balls.
Bye, y'all.
See ya.